You've probably heard people say before that if you're a leader, you should really lean into your strengths or leverage your strengths. And you think, okay, I agree with that theoretically, but I don't know exactly how to do that. If you've ever asked that question, this one's for you. Hi there, I'm Leanne Lagasse, author of The Congruent Leader. I'm a speaker and a workshop facilitator and a consultant, and I specialize in helping leaders grow in self-awareness and congruence. And if you've never heard that term with respect to leadership, really what that means is if you're a congruent leader, you are someone whose actions, behaviors, communication is consistent over time, and the way you see yourself is consistent with the way other people experience you. So that's what we're here to do, is to grow in congruence, because the people that we lead deserve it. So what we're going to talk about today are 3 practical ways that you can leverage your strengths to get to better outcomes in your leadership. So let's talk about the first one. Okay, the first way you can leverage your talents and strengths as a leader is to intentionally apply them in key moments. Now, what I mean by that is, let's say you are in a meeting with your team and everybody's feeling stuck. Maybe you're brainstorming, maybe you're problem solving. In those moments when your team needs you, when your team looks to you, what I want you to think about in those moments is, okay, my best potential for success is almost always found in my most naturally recurring patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving. That's the way the Gallup organization, by the way, defines talent. So in those moments, you get stuck, your team is feeling discouraged, everybody kind of instinctually looks to you. In those moments, your best potential for success is to say, what is it that already comes most naturally to me, and how can I lean into that even more? So let's say, for example, in one of those moments, you think to yourself, okay, what are my most natural patterns of thinking, feeling, behaving? You know what I'm really great at is configuring resources for maximum efficiency. So maybe in that moment, the best use of your time as a leader would be to stop and to say, hey everyone, what I'd like to do is audit our resources for just a second. Let's think a little bit more strategically about all of the factors, all of the pieces of the system. Let's do some systems thinking so that we can maybe get unstuck here, right? Or maybe you're a relational leader in that moment and your team gets stuck, and your instinct, because maybe you are really great at discerning the uniqueness of people, maybe your instinct in the moment is to say, the last time we got stuck, the people that really helped us pull through in this kind of area were this person, this person. Let's pause, see if we can pull them in and see if they can help us get unstuck, right? It's those moments where your team looks to you and you can intentionally flex those talent muscles, knowing that your best potential for success is found in those patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving. All right. The second way that you can really leverage your talents and strengths as a leader is to adjust your strengths based on the needs of the moment, based on the context. What I mean by that is that sometimes what our team needs, what the situation demands, is that we dial up some of our strengths. And sometimes it means that we dial them down, right? Here's an example. Let's say that you are a leader who has an eye for problems. And I mean that positively, right? You are the person who spots problems. You're really energized by solving problems, and your tendency might be to really dial up the problem finding on your team. But let's say your team is going through maybe significant change, or maybe we just lost a huge client and we're feeling discouraged, or whatever it is. You as a leader have the opportunity to say, what the team demands right now of me, or what the team needs, is actually not more problem finding. It's maybe problem filtering. It is, which are the most significant problems for us to dial down on and to focus on, and we'll leave the rest for later, right? Or maybe you are a leader who is really, really strategic in your thinking, and you kind of always are playing chess to figure out what if this and what if this. It might be that in the middle of change, your team is craving more of that strategic thinking from you. And so you get to kind of turn up the faucet, dial it up. That's what we're talking about here, is being sensitive to the situation, having some situational awareness and going, okay, I'm gonna dial this up and I'm gonna dial this down based on what my team needs from me. So that's the second way. Okay, all right. The third way that you can really leverage and dial up your strengths with your team is by raising your hand when a task or when an outcome aligns with what comes most naturally to you. This one is great not only for you and your team, but also for those like horizontal relationships in your organization and even those upward relationships in your organization. That when a task, when an outcome really demands people like you who bring talent in that area, that you are there to raise your hand and to sign up for those opportunities. This is a tip and a trick that I tell my coaching clients all the time, which is be ready. Be ready and watching for opportunities when your talent can be flexed. So altogether, those are just 3 practical ways that you can leverage your talents and strengths. It's not an exhaustive list. There's so many more ways that you can, but I hope this gets you inspired to think about, 1, what are those talents and strengths that I bring to the table? And then 2, how could I dial them up more strategically in my role to get my team and my organization to better outcomes? If you would like to learn more, I encourage you to grab a copy of The Congruent Leader. We'll make sure that there is a link here for you to do that. And subscribe, like, share, do all the things. The content that I create, the design of it, what I hope that it does for you is equip you with confidence and competence to lead more effectively, because our people deserve that. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.